We see tense engagements at the social media. We see security operatives and still they go around and identifying and arresting people. We see hundreds of people and they in incarceration in connection to the violent demonstration where the country witnessed on Wednesday. Now, then places there where I don't state. We also don't see how the president don't address the nation by way of assuring that the people in way incite that demonstration, the one the way perpetrates the violence, they all will face the full force of the law. And by extension, we also see the president, they associate the demonstration as one way, people in the opposition get unpanned, tigi one. We also see the opposition also don't distance themselves by way of press release and interviews at the international media in respect to that particular. We see people they call for calm, international community they call for investigation, and they call for the escalation of the tension at the country, and all of that. So many things then they at play, giving way to obtain, and a coffee be named for just yesterday evening. We see they lift the coffee for allow people them back for return to normalcy. Gradually, life don't begin to return every part of the country. But then we see also institutions that take position. One short institution, now the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, one of the moral guarantors of the democracy and peace in this country. And then pull a press release with title Sierra Leone on the Brink. And we get the president of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, as I've been introduced until now, when Ahmed Said Nasrallah. I want to ask you, Mr. President, waiting for the benefit of we people that we they listen to, we know to everybody gets Android phone for able to know waiting they inside that press release they not to everybody go don't get access to them, but we get tens of thousands of people where either they listen to we or they follow we now we different social media platform. We also go on for know why is large say Sierra Leone on the brink. What are in position with regards to waiting just not happen that the country, Mr. President?
Okay, thank you very much, Sally. Look at the hello to my colleagues them on the panel with you right now at the studio. Unfortunately, they didn't have free time there, so I need to join online. Yes, well, basically, what you will say about our press release because we press release we delay out for some time because we want to observe the truth in happy. We just have to react to situations as they happen. We just go out to press release. We want to study the just want to get it back. So naturally, anything they do, if we're based on fact, any statement they put out there, we could make sure to get it back because people will comment on it. And so we did say we're not get that back there, we're not get no investigation in, and for sure say society actually happening, society actually caused this, there are still people that involved. So we say, okay, now we look at the bigger picture, and now we look at the root cause of the problem. Because all of the two have people are our country. And something like the happened before. The root cause, nobody ever addressed that. And the root cause, we don't say we country divided, number one. And we don't say the politics is so, go so deep that the rivalry between APC and SPP affect every sector of society. Those are the root causes. And then if you look at social media, the conversation will go now. All the people they want no one they engage in healthy debate. All debate as you begin to narrow down to APC, SSP. Every day between the social media. All the communities there, in the school system, in the office system, in the place of worship, all that you go. You see the hate, you see the division. That is not important. So until we address the issue that they did not, let's see what happens. They can never stop us. So then people will take that down. They say, relation is there on the brink. If they're on the brink, it means they're on the edge. That means they will continue. We then can hit here. We then can division here. And we can politics will be practiced. Say that we versus them or us versus them. Definitely, don't be come out for 11-year war. We never go back and we'll go back. We go once back and the day before. And present people will be here. But what they will see, definitely, Makeni will be for their for them to again. But it will be worse. And then we will say, okay, now we put out the release where it's just say, all my we are saying, these are the root cause of the problem, and I will address. So most times our country will try for The problem with the request, fine carpet, patapa. So we give a kapana and dance and that's the back. The problem is on that. So as somebody is to share one side for the carpet too, the problem becomes back. So we give the act back. So until we address every cause today and make sure say we see this country say we all are the same and politics come to an end in itself and politics supposed to divide we, then we will begin the thing collectively or push a little before as one nation and we focus on the development agenda. So that makes it by specialist. And we also say that the specialist say okay, we condemn the violent protest because any protest who get violent, you're not gonna produce protest. So we condemn the violence first. We condemn and we pay tribute to the one that will lost their life, the civilians that will lost their life, the security people who lost their life, and wish their family and condolences. And we also call the government for investigate that in a very impartial, clear, and transparent manner, and let justice be done. So that we go address impunity for people in the commit crimes, for all things they have been people like they go free, nobody not account for us. So we need for people to talk to that. So if the government wants to do investigation now, let it be investigation of this one, and all the other incidents that we don't happen at the country, who die, civilians that they die, and also the injure public property, destroy public property, and injure the correct personnel there. So we need for investigate all the one of these, and the people who are responsible, and get to see a trial, and the public get justice. That's a one way to address that. So that's our position we put. And we also call on the media, the journalists, because it's very important in all of it really happen. We have responsibility, we get the responsibility, we need to have constitution, we need to have hold back, code of ethics, and journalism, we for help for promote peace, stability, and national cohesion. Then we stick to the responsibility. So all we ask what we do, anything we do, not to serve any political interest, not to serve any personal interest, not to serve any business interest, but to serve the interest of Sierra Leone for this together as a peaceful and stable nation.
Mega asks the question. You talk about, for engage and make sure, say, we ease or calm down the political, tension. You say the rhetorics then are one them way don't hit too much into, the very survival of a nation state of Sierra Leone, the me versus you, the we versus they, everything now down to politics that it don't become a way of life. Large, profile ways in which shots will be achieved.
Well, yes, that's at the end. That's not going to that press release for. That press release don't show we stand say, that we stand for. That we stand for. Anything they do, love do within the ambit of the law. And law makes us say we provide enough space to let people talk, let people express their opinion. You see, for the talking about people that say voting, you always say vote time in 2023, we get 1 year to election. So nobody's not going to do nothing. Even in the party feel like you're not going to do nothing. No, voting is just one aspect of democracy. Now the aspect that they only decide without for lead with. But in democracy, you also get fundamental rights there. Where the people right now, people get right for protest. Unless one party, you get right for protest. You get right for assemble. You get right for whole meeting, for discuss the way they affect things. Those are the rights in a democracy. So the state for begin for make sure they guarantee the rights they need. So that people feel free for doing. People feel free for getting different opinion and promoting government one. Government respect the need, and we are not for that. We respect the fundamental rights them to get, and the public also get the responsibility of the community. They take the responsibility. So every right they get the responsibility for being law abiding. Anything they do, if they criticize them, let you within the law. If they oppose, let you within the law. If you want for protest, if you want for whole meeting, or if you want for whole conference or for whole gathering for people to say you talk your opinion or you on any national issue, make sure that you do them within the law, because it's a democracy, and democracy now it respects rule of law and fundamental human rights. Yes, so Slash, yes, we are the vehicle, we get the platform. We provide the platform, the media they provide the platform for all their shows of opinion there, and then they come together, they sit on a table, they talk. This one talking perspective, that talking perspective, that talking perspective. They at the end of the day all agree. But nobody know for grab for say, your perspective wrong, and they attack you, or that your perspective right, or I need support you. Okay. We don't like my media. We can never be the same. We can never think the same. We can never be the same, and we can never support one interest group. It's not possible. So until we understand that one day, and we make sure we begin to discuss things then from a national perspective instead of from the parochial and sub-interest that we'll get, then we will give away before. So we're not ready for support the kind of shit that they Makeni what they do, so they make sure the issue of peace, the issue of stability, and national cohesion, they are priority for programs.
Continue for stay with me, Mr. President. Let's come to Ambassador Albert Bikul Bangura, the United States Department Community Solution Leader and Speaker, and youth representative at the MIU Parliament. I see on ourselves taking position, giving this not time way for beginning to talk about a period for discourse, how for empower young people, how for develop approaches and way go, get them to young people, how they will develop themselves, how they will contribute to nation building and to peace and cohesion. But I don't can coincide at a time where the country caught up in a situation of largely young people taking the streets in waiting and say protest for high cost of living. But then we know the position of Sludge where say, well, we suppose to begin the address the court, the root causes of all of them things that are done. We just sweep them under the carpet and address the surface issues. What are the thinking of the young peace builders where they provide leadership for and also being the person where they talk for young people at the MIU Parliament, given waiting obtained between the 8th and the 10th, also we see people and die, mostly young people and die, and police officers as well been died there. And of course we see how it also affects, institutions, and how the president also come for this and the opposition, where themselves don't distance themselves from all of these and just left the people that will be involved in all of these and this whole while. Young peace builders then issue out the press release like many others. We're not in a position regards the incidents of 8 and 10.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stanley. And do I want to change your mic? Okay. And I want to say good morning to everybody who did listen and to my fellow panelists. As young peace builders, we position actually been very clear. And we make a known say we unequivocally, first of all, condemn the violence. However, we also state that we encourage we government for the cease from making certain utterances in terms of using certain words against the citizens. And we also call for calm. We differ in terms of views or opinions when it comes to investigating the entire issue. Because we not believe say government for investigating itself, because he also the part of this issue. We feel very strongly that we need an independent body where will be constituted, where for consist of civil society, the media, maybe government representatives, representatives from political parties as well, where will constitute that body and it will properly investigate. Otherwise, if we just left all things to government, we don't see already. Government don't take sides. Then they don't point fingers a lot, and all the fingers they point at the opposition. As young people, on July 14th, I've been getting the opportunity to get out to the young people across the world for critique or for discuss the UN Secretary General in a report to the UN Security Council, and in that report, we highlight a number of things, okay, because we get a civil society working group within that body. We highlighted a number of things, and one of the things that we come up is the fact that young people don't get space. The space has been politicized. What he will mean by that is that even when it comes to youth empowerment programs, all right, we all are aware, even in Salonia, it's all about who belong to whose party. It's not about the holistic approach in terms of this is a youth program and this program will go for youth across the board. No. Now it's all about they want the way they know party, they want the way they support we. So one of the reasons this whole thing not go down well with we, because we feel very strongly say the government neglect a responsibility. The government at the Camden, the government for a long time don't they ignore the voices of dissent. The government for a long time don't they mass people them voices, and so people then reach to that point where they say, you know, what's go be levy. I don't know this country Stanley for some time, and I get family members, relatives, and friends and colleagues. We always ask, what you do in a salon, left salon, left salon. But the question is, if we all want to win a salon, would I go left behind for make sure say things go right? You know, you ask one question, you say how? Before now, we don't receive boku complaints when people they want to express themselves. The police, the government, they make sure say, then people not ever get that opportunity. They, as long as then they suspect say, waiting they want for do or say they against them. And you cannot continue to do that in a healthy democracy. The more you do that one day, you build the foundations for chaos. That's not exactly what we see on the 10th. There is no excuse. If even you the point finger and say this is not the opposition, did you engage them before now? If you know say you don't suspect, say, oh okay, this now these people want to do this, did you get in touch with them? It's your responsibility. We don't talk these times without numbers, say. When you don't become a president of a nation, you not see yourself again as leader of political party. You don't become the mama or the parent for the entire country. So no one particular sets no the way you go refer to say they one yonder and the this. No. You for able to make you get, you know, every kumbra get two bobby as they can say. So you for able for make room for everybody. So we see what's happening again with the women, they will be one come out where they be end up for arrest Femi Claudio school and then woman them. In fact, now inside the host them go meet them. These people give proof of the fact that they don't send times without number for request for. Again, we don't believe say protest now something where you for request and get approval for. You understand me? And when we make that statement at that time, Stanley, it's sad to note, we bring up a very strong statement when that issue happened from the parliament's perspectives now the MRU. That's a you waiting they do. They use certain young people also with the part of that body for begin for reach out to regional leaders for dissociate themselves from that particular position. This is what politicians do. This is what our leaders do. And you know, then they thrive in with disunity, then they thrive whilst with the feds, they get the opportunity for thief more, they get the opportunity for up the country of a lot of things. So it's not like we believe strongly, the government knows what to do, all right, for unite this country. But again, you know, I hope the people where they listen keenly, not to their interest. They don't get interest in uniting this country. The reason is simple. That's the politics they play. The more the people are divided, the more then gets the opportunity for they do them bad work, for they continue for thief this country, and they put we in. Whilst then they better. So we condemn the violence strongly. We know, not grab and say these people, again, we feel sad. Me listen and watch the interview with the Minister of Youth. I don't want for sound personal in terms of inefficiencies. When I listen and watch that stuff, it's disappointing. You know, sometimes I can always say certain things in the way they happen. Like feature to we the young people them. Because we get a lot of young people, even within the SLPP party, who are competent and eloquent enough, but we get a minister where not able to address nothing when he talk to the CNN. Instead of join the same line for the throw fingers pan political party. Your minister of youth.
Now, these are the situation. You talk about a space, that space where, you know, the people away suppose, the voices away for day, where suppose for diffuse tension, the escalate tension, and bring positive messages of unity. Now, one way they vacant. But the one way you talk in the president's address, it don't reassure Sierra Leoneans that you know, the right to protest now one way they go guarantee as long as it provide leadership. You think say it come too late for I mean a situation like this where don't claim lives? That assurance you think say it come late, or the address itself, you having a leader communicating with these people where you say that silence then one way, you know, they don't boil and it boil to a point and make a witness or to witness so on the Wednesday?
For response to that one, Stanley, I want to start by saying, you see, when we get people in authority who are surrounded with mediocres, we the result and get waiting with our experience. So, as a leader, you need to surround yourself with people who are not only objective, but we're not afraid to speak truth to power because it helps you a lot. But if you're surrounded with people who are always, you know, what we can call yelibas, people who are always, anything you say, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, this fine sir, it creates problem for me. And that's the reason why we need to encourage voices of dissent. It's very, very important. Whether you don't like these people, these other people, but listen to them. Because sometimes they have what you need to succeed. So the president actually has spoken. We glad yes he talked finally. But to be frank with you, the president talked late. This whole thing could have been avoided. This entire situation, now this one could have been avoided. We're not for being get young people for die again. Servicemen and women dying again. No, we're not for being get up. But because you have people in authority, we don't allow power for so make them cocky and not listen to anybody again. As long as you know the part of the conclave, now you lead we to us how they so today. And that's why they call on we leaders. Come on. The words them where they don't use over the past few days for describe the people them with specific fingers pointing at certain region. It's not acceptable. You cannot do that. These are your people. These are citizens of your country. But you use certain adjectives on them because you refuse to provide the space and the leadership where you're supposed to provide in any healthy democracy, and then go on the rampage to which most of the responsibility goes to you because they were provoked. That's why we say not to government for investigate this entire issue. We don't believe in that. You know, we believe say it for constitute bodies of people who people believe, who are moral guarantors for the media, the civil society, the international community, and political parties, all man for they on board and be part of that investigation. So that we go get something, we go stand the test of times and we'll able to go to the crux of the matter and address them once and for all.
Let's come to Emilia. You know, given with your pin, you don't follow all of these things. And Natiwi not just come off from the blues or you come on at the sky, you come for down. That demonstration way, not just spontaneous, we say people go to bed in the morning and just jump. What do you think say probably go on responsible for what you witness? And how you think say we will navigate through this, you know, for bringing sanity back in the country, for able to encourage investors and for come giving the rhetorics where still the heighten in engagement like the president stated on social media?
Stanley, I want to start for say good afternoon to people. I mean, a blessed Sunday to we all. when the whole incident happened and coming to your question where you they ask, at some point I say I become tempted for ask myself, especially when my brother from the MIU they talk, I say, who are these people? For me until this time, I still they ask myself, who takes leadership of waiting happen inside August 10? Who takes leadership for that? And until this time, we still not get people who take leadership of waiting happen. And the messages them varies from one point to another as to the reason for the protest. Notwithstanding, I want to emphasize here and say, just like every other person don't say, the right to protest is a fundamental human right. Every citizen, every citizen gets the right for protest. A very well, the thing again where are still not able for calm in terms with what do we refer to as peaceful protest and what do we refer to as protest and how those peaceful protests become violent protests. All of those are questions where still difficult for we answer. But coming back, Stanley, to all of this will happen, you know, a lot of things, it's not a hidden secret that negligence happen from every angle, and each and every one of we gets for take responsibility. When I say each and every one will take responsibility from the side of government, like somebody me colleague rightly say, indeed, this not thing where be done the rumor. Okay, now parliament are listening, people they call them faceless demonstrators or faceless protesters or whatever faceless you know them they call them. But knowing that already there are people who they refer to as faceless, what exactly the government do? What exactly people where they refer to these faceless people do for come up even with a statement? Most of the statements they now when they come up, me personally with my organization refuse. Even if I go out for those statements, refuse for one. Because I begin to ask myself a question. When this thing begin for rumor, why not some of these institutions coming up and first of all say, let me avoid this, what we expect for Apple. We already don't make names of people, calling them faceless people, right in the House of Parliament. People be they refer to this demonstration. You know, we already foresee the demonstration. We already foresee the thing where they come. People said nothing. People not condemn nothing. People not stop people for saying, okay, this is how we are going to do it. Let's do it this way. But now, it's also good that, yes, we are having some of these comment in the camp. Like the president for Slash say, when you take something where you cover on top, and then you we look at people and say, you need plenty of Panta Plus. Where you want to make, because and they say this because like other people they don't say this is not the first time where this all happened at Sierra Leone, where the one where happened July 17 or 18, I still see the Human Rights Commission, and interestingly study before I go there. Whilst this demonstration will take place, the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone within Makeni, then they do investigation, or then they do public inquiry on, you know, the action of security forces in the country where this kind of thing also happen. And so for me, the thing where I continue for say, in all forms, whether from the part of government, whether from the part of we, the youths, the citizens, this thing, especially killing, for we don't pull and come on. We don't forget any form of killing. People for the protest in a responsible manner. I think so one thing that they will go for challenge with youth them first. Let we know say when we go out for protest, if anybody fail for condemn the youth, they say, in we protest, we don't need for be violent, we need for send out we message in a very peaceful way. If we fail for come out and challenge we youth them and whosoever when they lead them demonstration, they have to tell them, say, when it comes to violent demonstration, we need for condemn man in its total form, in everything it takes, then we are being hypocrites to receive. We not true to receive at all. And on the side of the security, security forces. Until this time, I still dey ask myself a question. For say with security forces, they not train at all how for deal with protesters them, how for deal with riots, how for deal with conflict. Is it that we still, with security people, they not get that kind of training there yet? Or they don't get such a training, but how for implement those trainings still not a challenge to we as citizens, or not a challenge to we as a country? And so for me, if all of these questions are questions that we still not able for answer yet, then we still not able to get to the root cause, like the president of SLAD they say, as to all of this way they happen. And so for me, Stanley, I want for end for say, me, whether be it the government, I condemn the action that they come very late for react to those faceless demonstrators, where we don't already the rumor around, even in the wells of parliament, they not be so proactive for come and condemn and say no to this and call for either a dialogue or whatever it is. I also want to condemn those protesters who go out for protest and then start for destroy. You know, when I see government bosses, when I see police station being burnt, when I see other things that they happen, I begin to ask myself, what is the purpose of this protest? If the protesters then are because things are difficult as a country, if not because things are not they go on well, now when we burn the police station, now in the country go be peaceful. Now when we damage the school bus system, now in we don't solve the problem. Now when we kill police officer, now in we don't salvage the situation. And I ask to the security personnel then again. Now when we kill protesters then, when we kill young people then, now in we don't remedy the situation, we don't solve the problem. Now when presidents come after in trip and then call people them terrorists or whatever, now any problem don't solve, no, it still not solve it. And for me, I want to challenge each and everyone say, the role we for play, now how we go prevent some of them things that not for happen again. When it still happen Wednesday, when they begin for kill, it not be necessary for let lives them go. Be it security personnel, be it with civilians them, it not call for let any life go. Salon we for don't mature to that level now where both the security and the one way they protest for able to manage protesting at this country and get a very good protest. We don't see now other countries them how protests they take place, but this is sad for Sierra Leone from all both sides. Again, I want for finally say to the one them who lost their life, may their soul continue for rest in peace. I'm sure this is a lesson where all of we go learn from. We will come to the lesson then where we learn later at the end of the program.
Let us come to Diame this time, and I want to make everybody don't bring out within the problem. You know, all the other speakers and they speak to the root causes of the particular situation where the country witnessed on Wednesday. You think say we been there out of this, where the actors were responsible for don't prevent what we witness, so do that one day. And what do you think say critical at this time for a nation like Salone?
You know, SAB, I go end to Usayu and waiting critical. One, now for pick the word then. Apart from picking the word and even the volume, the tonation of for talking, the key. But before I go any further, I want to say the life and we go let them. Me not to the appropriate person for judge them. But the question you ask, if we don't avoid that. This one, I not witness any action. Because when I begin seeing on my phone, shock me to an extent I don't go no side. I mean, at least I want to tell the story. I don't let them tell me a story. Because once you don't die, they will tell the story. So, and I remember I take all the time I need forget for come out or say you know, when I food soldier in this community. My uncle tell me, he say you wouldn't know somebody will be defend this opportunity against you. This not the way we just, you know, you pick some meet and one joint, that on table here, I be worker. I talk to some people and they tell me, say, in intelligence, either somebody want commit a crime or you don't commit a crime. it's almost impossible for them to round that up. But me, I think waiting Nasiala say, the monk, now he just says, to me. This earlier to me, I'm able to talk plenty about this issue because even you will get an independent mind, then they limit you for intervene into a discussion. Because it is either on the left or on the right. But nothing on the over to middle. In fact, then they even question neutrality. Say that neutrality where they preach so, it just want for play game, but we already know side day. Then they identify you. And SAB, I want to be very, very honest. Me now one person where this thing begin. The feedback you also of freedom they get. Some people even they look at some people and say they get a whole and play into all of this. Well, my brother from the MRU Youth Caucus, they say let them investigate, let them look for independent sources. But waiting and they say we need for no limits as a citizen. Somebody get for take responsibility. Somebody get for take leadership. Spontaneously, I watch the comparison, some people they make to Sri Lanka. The kind way where the Sri Lankan citizens then comport themselves. He even made the security forces they just collect. Because one, they get the objective. The objective, now for go na the seat of power, where na status, for example, they go get an aya. And ensure say, then deliver the message. But the president, looking at how things they happen, then able for maneuver and take them to somewhere. When they enter another facility, the only thing some people do, they just go inside the swimming pool and get a feel of the water. One day we take the gym in something, where they tell us say Iban. Because one, the people that know say this very state house where they talk about our property, any destruction will do to them. And they get an example of something where happen where people then go for go lay complain and come pay SAB. And for now, the people where they work, where government send them for go work, don't feel unsafe and pack out. Because the police station, where if somebody aggrieve, go lay complain, they don't run and down. So if people show their anger on institution of state where they ensure say we listen to a complaint, me where they depend on that security day, well, I no go feel safe. So me what me go ask generally, let us tone down the rhetoric, and nothing no the spoiler. Perfect, I continue for the talk and no perfect crime no day. Somehow, something, somebody more sloppy somewhere and left evidence will trail back to them. But for now, me personally, I been affected. Somebody very close to me, would they not round up? Whatever you do, when they round them up. Now wait till tell me on the phone, I don't have to take it hook, line, and sinker. I need to forget another side. Because one, I want to know, wait till they do not do then tell me the day. You know that the question I ask, wait till they do not do then tell me the day. You pick a meter I do. But who says you don't? Hey, now security forces and they
excuse me, not to the day for the demonstration.
No, I know.
No, wait. I want you call the particular way you meet me.
Well, I never remember the day.
Okay, no. Now Tuesday you meet me now on back.
No, it's okay. No. I mean not say that. I don't explain.
Okay,
things.
it's not UPK, it's serious.
No, I mean UPK is a colleague. I will give example to him because my team member, I will give example to him. And I think say I want to be safer. So to me, as I say SAB, we tone down the rhetoric, we left the one that win at the responsibility now for it to the truth of them. But glossing over him, like waiting Emilia self-support the monk. For no more pay for the cracks anymore. The thing they don't reach to a level where somebody therefore look you in the face and tell you say the role you play by this is not correct. Honest. And therefore take responsibility. Honest. Otherwise, me I don't witness the war. Me I witness am. And I know I dey walk from here to Kamaranka when at 38 miles I blow. Then to Guinea Conakry the following day. I know what it mean. I've been lucky and not lost a loved one. And if I see anything similar, a replay all day because this now relieve you also. That very day the thing that when me see on my phone. So I dey beg, let us tone down the rhetoric. Let us remember say boss. Nobody know the win by boss. Nobody. Nobody know the profit and go suppose. In fact, if you be vulnerable, it will make you even more vulnerable. Because when come, your security then are your hand. The security forces will concentrate on a few people then, where if something wrong, they will make news. But me, if I die, not on news. Not just a normal burying from your family. So me the beg. Let we turn down the rhetoric. Let we Sierra Leone SME was swear to God now we own country way. Any side you go get that the identify. Let we pick the word all they talk. Remember, something they want to observe.
From the top.
Something they want to observe, even on social media. Some of you are admin and some area them. We don't do a disclaimer. And they see how man they behave. Waiting they can on your phone, you know they in control of them. But waiting they come on your phone, you don't in control of them. This is another one you want to get to the public. Waiting they send to you, you know they in control of them. But waiting they come out to you, you don't in control of them. So if you come to you, you get your argument, not to me, Nakai come to me. Either you listen to them or you read them, then it stop to you. If you think say it's not appropriate for let it further, send them further, let it circulate, because waiting me don't observe. And whatever, if na rumor or not a rumor, we get a responsibility for managing with social media platform then. For letting it escalate. I know what they observe, and I see say civility don't they come in small. Because now admin and they take action. For mainly because Usain the admin, when it comes to Wala, the security forces then can bring me and make a respond. So if I don't make a disclaimer for ensure say we do things with candor, do ya at the big. Let we calm down, let we slow down, let we go about with small business and don't loss, like I say, let Allah forgive them sins and let Allah give them paradise.
Let I take the mic to you picking now, and instead of our for what are your own overview of this whole situation? Which you think say lead to witness, and which you witness how it affects, the country as a whole, where I talk about the economy, we image, and just every other thing where not good for a nation state.
And I want we observe 1 minute silence for the one that we die. May their soul rest in peace.
Amen.
You see, August month in the history of Sierra Leone, people can feel say na April na on a bad month in we collective memory. 47 na around Botoku most likely beaucoup people die. In 2017 it happened back. Today, August 14, the same time when they talk about 10 ways saloon people die. And this August back we talk about how saloon people die. It's unfortunate. Like let me tell Una, Monday, Tuesday, I've been there with the OSD there. We meet now one joint. I spent over 5-6 hours with them, And after I talk to them 1, 2, 3 hours, I get the impression, say, themselves now exploited people. You see some boots, some ampo, you look at Amos, I talk to them, some tell me Amos and the pay, I feel bad. So the following day, when I see Sierra Leoneans, they kill police officer, I felt so bad. Why would they kill another exploited person? And for Lewi, some of my colleagues, then they say, government, say them, you don't get peace, then they call them faceless. Why we for always wait, say, then why I will teach them lesson? Then why I na Western area and they against we, Northern province and they against we. Only happen on we outside now who side they control. When I hear that they come up from Mr. President, it's unfortunate. And you know what I've been only do? I they listen. I want for what me feel saying I bring we come to this. First of all, government for honor. And there's a huge distrust between the common people and government. General anger there, the vast majority of Sierra Leoneans angry. They look at their conditions. They look at the rates of tribalism. they look at the rate of unemployment. And when it comes to unemployment, young people are always they be at the blunt. And this government from day one, every day na blame. Your government, you play victim. I remember back 2 years ago, when after the Panema Road, the Makeni incident, the Maboka incident, the president again say, set of terrorists. I mean, you're unfortunate. I mean, when you're not president, you are president of Sierra Leone, you for reconciled, you know. Coming back, the economic hardship. The country tongue, the vast majority of which people, they suffer. And when you been watch the placards and listen to some of the people they talk, they say they want peace, the hardship, boku. And I listen to the president interview where BBC the interview. Himself I look to the fact say, talk country wrong. Country wrong. I mean, we bring Mr. President come for let him help let me change the situation. But when one set of Sierra Leoneans they look at the other set, then they against we. We teach the lesson. I mean, when you kill you company Salomon, what does it profit you? In the last 3 days, my professors, my former classmates, they sent to me, are you safe? Are you that? Are you this? Are you that? How we go always continue for other people look at me as if we're not butchers? You know, for the last 1 week, the global media, they whip we, you know? I mean, look, the Adebayo factor. You know what thing happen? And me na man Adepa woman business. When you get 2 women, yeah, you're a man. You get 1 woman, you know they talk to her. You know they talk to her. You're busy. You go this, they make that, they make this, and this man, now you're already in fact, and then I do your job. Right? You're busy. You get the other one every day. They talk to you, they keep coming to you. And some of the message they bring come, it resonates with the common people. I mean, it's unfortunate that government allow for let them hoodwink. This is not the second time this president talk, apart from the usual occasions. And each time he talk, he call with names. It's unfortunate. The president for talk are unfortunate. After the Makeni, in order, when we watch global television, yesterday, day before yesterday, then Chuk, how they call this professor, the one for the satanic verses, how they call him, Salman Rushdie. Yesterday, the American president, all global leaders, they talk and they say, they're sorry with her. And people die in Makeni, people die in Maboka, people die in The president in first Twitter figure said the message we see was not reconciliatory. Look, any Sierra Leonean will die like a big cool, they say, you are president of all Sierra Leoneans. And now, at the Nasrallah, SLAD, every organization will wake up with press releases. I will say, let we all shut up. That is hypocritical. That because we as civil society, we as journalists, we as reverend, we as imams, we as organized opposition, right? We as academics, we as moral guarantors, we not stand up to what we're supposed to do. Now, give the space for people like Adebayo for thrive. And hoodwink with young people. I mean, let me stop the organized hypocrisy. All of us are in it. You know, if we know take them for less like they can't tell you now say Sierra Leone on the brain.
So you know if not the only thing this can come for.
Hello, excuse me, not to slide that. I know the single slide. I don't see a lot of other organizations they pull press releases. I mean, a hypocrite. Shut up, we could have done more. Eh? How many of we imams been a Catholic, right? And they challenge the Catholic Church where they belong. When they kill people na the metropolitan capital na Freetown. I want to see the pastoral letter where the bishop of the Archdiocese of Freetown Pool. When a young cathedral. I mean, let me left this up. I want the imam in a central mosque na Freetown. What he say? Eh? I mean, this is our young country. We don't get no other country. Right? I mean, what do we do for how they feel how they exclude other people? How will they feel what it will mean for the government engaging citizens? Eh? What it will mean for we perform well in unifying the country? Right? All of us, we get an obligation for we unify this country. Let me stop for the man as Timney man, as Mende man, as Limba man, as this. And we all this country, the only country we'll get, right? The president, you know, in interview, I don't like the word terrorism, right? I mean, we are not terrorists. Majority of the people where they demonstrate, where are seen in global media, what do you call terrorists? Well, for me, I think about Boko Haram, I think about jihadists. You know, reach that level. Let me know they set trap, right? Always they blame the opposition. And when you kill organized opposition, you get facelessness. And facelessness is not good for we as a country. I mean, this is not the only country we'll get. And they throw back the ball on the government of Sierra Leone. And interestingly, the right to protest. Not to this government, no more, don't deny them. All the government, them from they enact the public order. You know? A piece where they allow, so I tell them, they shut up. Look, they enacted 1963. 1967. No, it's not 67.
Public order 65.
Okay, 65. Then APC kind of power 1968. They rule 68, 67. Okay, 68. So 1996 when they kick it out. Why they not expunge that Ulombo? Then SLPP come 1996. So 2007. Why didn't they expunge it out? Right? APC come 2007. They're not expunge. They're always you see, there was a demonstration in Ghana in the last 1 month because of economic hardship. And most people die? No! Me don't live in Italy.
Advanced
In fact,
democracy.
the first...
Even the way injured, the police IG come and then condemn.
Absolutely.
Police there and say...
The first world Italian world where Sabiwa go Italy, na manifestation and chopper, then a strike and demonstration. Every day Italian in the common street for strike, but fall not they die. Why we no go manage for... Then with security forces. I know, hey, the man where they shoot is self-exploited. You self now an exploiter. I guess some of me party in OSDs, right? Now soldier. Look at the almost in the pay police, 800,000. Some police they tell me say for the past 1 year, they don't get a rest. They don't give a rest. When they can give us now OSD they give. They don't give general duty, CID, this, that. They may get forgiven, now you don't go 10 months. 10 months. Right. They give them 7 months. So all of us now this country exploited. So when they begin kill the other person, it's unfortunate. Do the police and the good citizens will die, the citizens of Sierra Leone will die. For me, every citizen of this country is a good citizen. Unfortunately, we don't deserve that. They don't deserve that to die. I feel bad. I feel saddened that we don't go back to the war. The war days here, unfortunate. And they hear about say, hey, they don't go catch this person, they don't do this, they don't do this, they don't can capture this, they don't can arrest. It's unfortunate. We continue to go before. I mean, the prognosis when they read from international journalists is bad. Let me make this other point. For the last 1 week, we know where Salon no move, we lost revenue. Salon na like that mommy, where the man no the work. If people don't know, government don't get money. When the mommy go sell, then after it come up, when he don't go sell, 2 o'clock, the picking come on and convert Makeni. I know, I do deliberately. He pass the market to mama, the mama bye. He say, well, go cook. Then, do you like go there, wait for buy school fees, go give papa, let go pay school fees tomorrow. That is how they run Sierra Leone now. If we not collect revenue, na custom, we know they get money for pay. You know what it means for the government not function for 1 week? We're losing revenue.
All right. At the technical all the mic to we online guest Nasiala we know the studio. The lessons they will learn from this. How they will prepare we for make sure say we able to achieve some of them approaches their way. SLAG as an organization don't identify as the way forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Stanley, and thank you to all the other panelists for the contributions. I want to agree with my sister that the studio will say we all responsible for what they have in the country. We all take responsibility. That is true. But I want to disagree with the
UPK.
The recent speaker this now.
UPK.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. President, go ahead.
Yes, sir. We say we all hypocrites. Yes, that's true, but we hypocrites are true. But I'll tell you why. Then, but I don't agree with you what way they use the cut off. Yeah, maybe it's again.
Okay, thank you, Nazigala. I take him back.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, definitely. That's the reason. Most people say we don't know the problem. We all know the problem. But like I say, like we say there, the media fault, all the sector there, everybody, civil society, the government, the opposition, the places of worship, the university, every sector, the public, we're all responsible for what they have to do. And because the politics don't divide we. The way the politics divide we, it's not even for people who they can't talk voting at the truth. It's not possible. As you want to talk to, for me, let's say...
They're threatening for killing family.
Yes, they attack you and they want to call you. They attack the media. The media says, you can always say we're divided. You get one is the one that EPC, you get one is the one that SFP. And then all the EPC, there was one country for support EPC start. The SFP, there was one country for support EPC.
It's a fact.
No matter what they do, no matter what they talk, they only look at national issues from those lenses. So you know they have it. That's an hypocrisy. So what people all decide for de-escalate now, all let's say their side. Say, but no, we let the politics fall. No, we let the politicians do the work. No, we let the politics. No, we help enlighten the people there. Then they get the correct information for you to make their own decision there. Because if they will come out to, they get the correct information about what they happen. Then they will tell us, say, they can't protest. Then they can't begin fire, they can't begin cause me. Then they do. Yeah, so we're all responsible. So we'll take responsibility. But not because, again, we don't allow politics for dividing. We're not a divided nation. So we're not getting balance. We're talking no more. Politics when they put to division and hate and what they call. Now the politics then the cause. We don't allow the politics for kind side. And all man is skill with them for them to extremes there. Yes, you don't account with them. But you know they happy like they happy to now. Yeah, hate. Yeah, you don't go down to the extent that we don't hate people because of that. So in any side you do if anything, they want you to this is the other side you. That's what we all know. You know what I mean? Even when they take the difference there, for them benefit the whole country, the less where they take them from, now from who that is supposed to force, and they for benefit for before other people have benefit. Yes. You see? So if it comes to the lessons down, Stanley, yes, there will be so many things there. And I'm not going to report this therapy. This therapy over and over. We know how social media is. We know the kind the way they pass on social media. We know people the way they share the things they are for give people the wrong information. And now the media, the traditional media, are not getting power they give. They're going to be getting posted. Oh, now we control content. Now we control what people say. Now what do they share the public when they read. Everybody not get smartphone. There is any channel in the world. You record and send. And when people follow them, they give listen now. The man will let you because of the voice. The man will let what you say. And they can follow you. You have to Sambayo. Sambayo at the time we tell a colleague. We don't listen to it. So that is conspiracy. All man, every Saturday, if you don't listen to that, it's a pity you don't miss out. You see? So those are the things that when they happen. So we all take our responsibility today to make sure that we educate the public for know what to do and right thing, for be law abiding, and not say we all get responsibility for make we day as one and let the country not go back to war. That's another way to say. So first of all, we all don't condemn what happens so. That nobody support any violence and protest. A violence protest like police officers they die, civilians they die, and public property they destroy. We only condemn them in the strictest term. But we also for talk say there are fundamental rights them who every citizen for enjoy, who the government need for guarantee. They're not for suppress the right today. And democracy. For always for stand for the thing they do. And the government, the way they come react to this one, to me personally, I think they react with anger. Even the police, they react with anger. The police, immediately because they don't kill the young people this time, when they do the press release for put out, for give an account for what will happen, or put them down, put out a kill, then which person they destroy. The police put out press release, they only account for the young people and they left the civilians they would die.
That is not important.
They don't put that by the press release. Yeah. And you now a force for protect the public, the civilians there, now that the life they protect. You will not put that by the press release. So then the press release say the police themselves, they react angrily to what happened with emotion. And if you don't want to go back and so yes, don't kill now. Yes, everybody's sorry, one step sorry. So make us say, to the public say, concern about the security of the state, concern for them, in as much as concern for your personnel. You see, the government has come. The way they react, the government na kumbra, na ina kumbra, na iko sikila na get the legitimacy, na ina elect, na get the mandate for rule. and now you can take responsibility. And you have to take responsibility and act like Congress. Be a whole thing, like the beer, swallow the bitter pill, and try for him to wound them and say, okay, this is so happy. It's so unfortunate. We condemn this violence here because if there are people protesting about violence, okay, so with the sense of an independent panel for investigate all this one and other things that will happen, we don't make sure to put an end to the country there. And so government is this. If the way they talk for do it for based on evidence and facts. Exactly. That's what for happen. So the one side. So for instance there, let's what about say, then here we don't the news of this year we don't go around for over a month. What do security officers do? What do intelligence officers do? You know what I mean? We all live here social media in the past, but you get agencies who have the responsibility for follow up on their intelligence there and make sure they live in the board before it happens. So when we talk about the parliament, the SPP members of parliament there, when they appoint the IG, they talk. They say, well, the IG informed us now August days for C. Because faithless people in the camp can't demonstrate. So it was there. They know. The security know, the government know. What did they do to prevent them not happy? Or they take the for granted say, these are just interesting, you know, happy. But I think they wouldn't be happy with them in the policy. The mistake can say, people in the camp out on the 10th will come demonstrate forcefully without any clearance. So that will be the alert the ID for, so that they can prepare for that. So anybody who will come out, they definitely will get the full force of the law. So that's very happy. What's happy? Everybody sits back at home. They don't come out because they don't care now say, this year they can't happy. And they're not getting information for telling them, okay, they are who government they talk? They talk na social media. How much believe in social media? How much believe in press releases? When the community on the station saying, when the national broadcaster, how they inform the people about putting government plan? You see, say the ONS school press release, for show people and say, don't go about the normal business, that's very happy. Who will not listen there? The police are press release, not the one of the two. They put press release to the public. But not listen there. People stay home. Because they fear. Say, if I come and do, something happen today, and we will get in the middle of it, and arrest we will kill we. And then happy. So we need to go back and how government communicate to the people. How we security intelligence, with security network, they respond to intelligence and leave them in the board before they actualize. And what in now we are the media, what in our role, how we journalists help fulfill all the kinds of here. With the play pass panel, we have the help for jail life or we help for preventer. So these are the questions we need for our and we need for me to something. Slow we de-escalate, slow we stop the politics first. So we focus on the country, maybe now one people there. No, we work out to get. No, we focus on and support. We said for developing countries, support the government for developing countries. Criticize the government constructively and responsibly. And you, your position, you get the responsibility for supporting government in good initiatives. If government gets an initiative, the union position I agree with them. Challenge her. Say government, now this is what you want to, and now this will cost you. But if we maintain our power, now so we do and now so it will cost me. Those are the kind of debates that we want to see. It's happening in the country. And who take about the social media that the same thing for Didi. Not to APC, we don't get into this here. So we don't put it up. We all put it up back and no, we're not allowed to go behind. Go with the first say, if we talk, we say we're not APC or we're not SFP. This is not political parties there. Not to the people who now, not to the getter. Not to the SNSC, because not to get SFP. Not to understand by Pro Market, APC. And the people in getter of Salon, many people don't pass through the party here, who don't come, they don't go, they don't rule, they don't serve, and they don't go back, they don't die. It's a public property. We're not for jail for join there. Everybody get for join there. But we're not for the hate today. It's not about not a region, but the southern region. No. It's not for me to. When the government get legitimacy, that you for carrying the people along. Everybody, not just your party, not just your people who support you. Listen to the sensitive voice there. Let's take some people say. They go help you. Talk to them. So those are my tips for now.
Mr. President, you talk about the escalating the current situation, and the traditional media gets a critical role, given the fact say we see how the social media don't become so polarized with hate messages, with incitement, with all of them things there. Though there were on the side where majority of the people they get information today and not to the threat. But how we go able for ensure say we use the traditional media as a vehicle for sanitize the already polarized social media platforms?
The government needs to use the platform. Like I say, Sally, social media, we could not play with it. We don't say like we say, we don't play with it. You don't start somehow. We would it, most of we now influence ourselves. So you able to get information there and go spread in the community. And people can believe you. But the majority of people now radio they listen to. So we get the independent radio platform. So we not together on the Alliance Broadcasters Association. They want that community radio stations across the country. Now a platform more available to government, whether government use for fast information. Why government don't use them, I don't know why. Because it's well coordinated, they platform them. I think they use for talking to people. The people that they listen to, another smartphone. They listen to the purpose you get audio, or a smartphone, you go play audio and listen to that. But if you get that from the way they see the whole in the community, you listen to that, you get that, say, that's what government say, and that's what these are the right information. Then the place they use for what people do. So government needs for using platform there. And we need just the traditional media, we need for make presence for the public and the public interest, whatever the public know or put on social media, the cable can to be and get the correct information.
Absolutely.
But we don't people do that. When I look at what they have to do, and you look at the report the way they come on traditional media, the newspaper, for example, they see the site, they see how we all divided. The one who is supporting PC and SLTP, under the government, all they told them is an attack on democracy, attack when they want to overthrow the government, and this is terrorism. Then the one who is supporting the opposition, then they say bloodbath. Bloodbath. Then they talk about that. I mean, that's what you have. So we all listen to that one. We have to know what is true. We should say that's true.
And they balance it.
Okay, so they balance it, yes. Because they get interested. What will be interested?
Yeah.
So until we begin to change that way narrative, that way, we need for some strong. You know, and make say, we don't put a lot before. We don't let it here, we don't put a lot before. But we don't forget the inspiration from the government. And the government wants to show that kind of indication there. So that's so you want this country to go, and I say you want the people to give game. The same for the to follow.
All right, let's take the mic. Continue for the O3. We know we don't take 2 hours of your valid time, but it's very useful for public consumption. And this is an approach also for, help the politicians or the leaders to make informed decisions. We go able to achieve, which we all call for now, so for stop the rhetorics and for de-escalate the situation. Be cool. You don't hear the president of Sludge, he don't talk to the bone, he don't talk to the dog. And it just took, so how from a youth perspective you think, say, we'll walk out of that kind of situation there in the future? With the absent way we need for fix. Yes, somebody will say work on the Tintianga, but a fundamental thing the way the president established, where now this issue of politics don't so divide we effort them. We're not able to bring them together for able to achieve something where we all go say that this we don't achieve as a nation. Everybody want for square a goal. They will say we APC now this we do SLPP. Nobody knows to talk about now this say alone achieve. Everybody they make sure say whatever is score, they identify that particular thing they will. And so even developments they're all identical with politics and not as a nation. Young people really come up, and now election day around the corner, we never see the same old people, young people, and go on for aspire. How we will change the narrative, just so that we not go also see one opportunist in one corner, we go the record audios and send them to people, and in the absence of a leadership way for engage in subject them and get them back for jumping at it and witness with him. Probably we see so.
All right, Stanley, thank you very much. I just want to say, I don't know Ahmed Nazrallah for quite a while now, and I get huge respect for him, personally. All right, and you see, he shares something about, I think the title of that piece there was, If I Were the Police or something.
Yeah,
I would have done
protest.
this,
If I were the IG.
Yes, if I were the IG. And when you read the details, you see, say, it make a lot of salient points in there. But again, you see, it talks something what the affects we in this country right now. If you they talk in the midst of people and you know they talk for, and you tend for one for being like in the middle, they will always put you against. So, myself don't see situations. I don't see people, highly placed people, where even they refer to in the very monk as APC. just for some of them stands there. But it's normal. Na salon we dey, we don't used to it now, you know. But one thing way bad, if we, in the midst of sympathizing with different political parties, where now we right constitutionally, we lost we conscience, then a big problem. Because now done there for guide we, for let we able not say in as much as are they affiliate with this party or that party there, but me conscience I will be true to her. So as young people, as you rightly asked the question, I just want to say, first to start with, this word where they don't play with. You see, politicians, I can always say like I start when I'm in the talk force. They know what thing for do, they know the problem, they know how we for fix it. But it's not to the interest that one day. Because the thing is, if they fix this problem, you know, how you go campaign for your party, how your party go come na power. You know, so then deliberately they continuously divide people. In my submission, when we debate the UN Secretary General in report to the UN Security Council regarding the Youth Peace and Security Resolution 2250, I make them categorically clear that local politics has been used to divide young people further, and if a group of young people is perceived for not for there with these particular people where they're in charge, they would not benefit from anything developmental, and that's the create problem also. Because like we say, governments na kumra, you know that when you don't campaign, again, one mistake what would they make? You know, I make the statement from government and all the government ministers, it's unfortunate for they continue for class a particular set and region of people. Because not forget, not to all man within their region there or their area they are na APC. Not to all man within a SLPP. You have people there who are independent, where they make decisions based on the kind of program where you bring to them for vote. And these people voted. So if you just class one set of region of people as being hoodlums, as being terrorists, as being unscrupulous, from people at the top, if we want to turn down the rhetorics, if we start from the, you know, Stanley, I said something before the president presents his speech. Somebody said to me, they said, what do you expect from the president? And my response was, if only the president choose not to be emotional and ignore them people the way sometimes they press, they talk APC, it will coin down the situation with just a simple statement. The president could do it. Remember, again, we tell the council, so I know some people will judge her. When Ernest Coleman took power in 2007, people been they wanna win at this country. Some man they left in office. Some man they attack people. His statement was no. Una not go beyond them people and they una left them. In fact, let them continue for them at their office. Let una where they can learn from them. That statement, it calmed down a lot of things. There are times where, you know, what did not happen so? I know it happened because of some people being afraid now out of fear. Like UPK say, the police in reaction. Yes, we go blame them. Also, you professionalism there. But again, now what a man they wear a uniform. Now what a man they wear. So going back, I want to say quickly, like what's in my sister been say. He said people are not being talk. I UPK make mention of that as well. People are not being talk before now. I want to differ. People were talking. But people were ignored. People were talking. Even Basita Michael is on records. The MIUYP is on records. There are lots of institutions, including the UN Rapporteur. Civicos pull out a statement, a report on citizens' participation in governance and the rule of law and the state of civil society. People were talking. People are not listening. They continuously ignore people, and this is where the problem lies. The voices of dissent are very important. They might help you. Not only you people and no more way you consider as you people, everybody na you people. You have to listen to them. Basita a number of times and don't call her all kind of name just because of the stance she has taken. But when you look at always see the talk correct. But we ignoring that. You know, and then they'll say, I'm on APC day, this, that. Come on.
Because if you win a media junction, APC 10 they say win a SLPP. Now SLPP say win a APC.
I understand. It's normal. But Mr. always sit down and talk to you guys right now. I get people that tell me say now me na APC. But I remember when APC be in our government, despite the relationship where I get, and even I get where I get today, they be tell me say me na SLPP. So the problem with this country, we just give a stand for something and we continue for stand. We don't care. Now the aspect of leadership and this talk about baseless, I they disagree with her. And we disagree with her. Faceless, faceless, faceless. Now faceless people are coming at it. I mean, let's be real with each other now. Now faceless people are coming at it. They even get to a point that evidence is to show that women went to police stations and they signed, they write their names. There are several audios and videos we they see. That's why I say, the fact is we get a pre-notion towards something.
It's an oppressive state.
Now in they cause this whole problem. So it's no longer, they just put everybody in a basket. I can tell people, they just start like when someone can say, police then, police corrupt, but police not an institution. You get different sets of people with it. Not all man corrupt. Yes, some corrupt. But they are very fine policemen and women. So for just put a blanket statement and say, they're not faceless people. So now they then begin cause the problem for us. Because they are refusing to engage people, they call them faceless. That's hypocrisy to the highest level in governance. We don't continue to do that. Now, let me observe what happened during the course of this protest. We've seen videos where citizens who were on the street meet with military personnel and they were jubilating. Is that something to think about? But when they meet police, at some level, yeah, they were fine, but at some level, they don't talk to policemen. They are tough issues.
I mean, and a question where I really reserve for Emilia, but since you don't bring a camp, now question because you know all the police officers where die, them police they not kill them because of their tribe, their religion, now because they come over an institution where they call police.
Exactly.
And you can get the military, and even the issue of assuring the public, we see that the military take the forefront. Going around with vehicles for talk to the public on a begin on a business. How are we going to deal with, or we will probably go down deep in the mistrust between the police and the public, where witness which we see so, you know, some people leave it now stable, let's kill them, and like what Monk said today, we're not even able to get actual figures of people who don't die. You know, because they want the way to provide that information, they're not able to provide them. Initially, they say 2 civilians and Makeni, but I think we get more than 2 people away on that. But somebody for able to tell you how many civilians in all on that, right? So now other critical issue, if we want to ensure sanity, the issue of trust between the public and the police as an institution. You don't think say. Now, one way we ignore and probably go down, spark up with him we see, and today they call insurrection, we call terrorism, we call all of that.
Stanley, just like what you say, there are serious trust issues between the citizens and the security, especially the police. The people in the country, bulk of them, not get faith in the police, with no disrespect to them. Yeah, this issue of injustice and the rule of law, a number of times they don't get a number of reports. Not forget, they do a lot of work with them, and sometimes you go on some of these stations, we know what's in the happen. We get other places in Kamakue, what will lead to the burning of the police station? We need to know. The citizens then just grab no more come on a tree to go jump and go burn station.
And it's not only about the police station, and when they attack symbols of the state.
Yes.
And it's all the things that we call Sierra Leone.
Yeah,
You know?
yes.
You see,
you know.
the police station, the boss, you know.
So let me cool down, because this is a crucial issue. And some of them police, they are not to arm police them.
No.
Now one them way armless, not to like gun carry.
And they show that they get gun.
So it brings to four the fault line between the relationship between the public and the police as an institution. Yeah, even
A lot of work needs to be done. We've seen instances where police officers meet these civilians on the streets, women they prepare for group and protest. These faceless people, quote unquote, as referred to by our state leaders, and then tell us that we're going to host now one demonstrate against we government. Come on. If that statement they come out from somebody will take an oath for serve and protect the constitution and not individuals, then you don't create problem already. But in other instances, you see the military, they talk to people and go, "Una do this thing, so okay, una take this other lane," and they were jubilant. So you need to understand that there are serious trust issues when we need for work on as a nation. We need for work on, and we get a lot to do with that. Now again, I want to say, if we must heal as Sierra Leoneans, there are two things we need to look at. One, we need to be truthful and be honest with each other. Now there we for start. If we continuously they ignore, and because of our affiliations, we party them all they support, or the group they will belong to, so we they take truth. We see green, we call on red. We see red, we call on green. We see blue, we call on. Then we're not going for one side. We're not going for heal as a nation. Finally, this issue where you talk about the youth in this country, trust me, there are other young people who will not ever participate in this. Then we go work somewhere busy. Unemployment is a serious problem. But again, we got two institutions in this country who are responsible for young people there. And one of the institutions, the Midwest Sidoya, I'm one of the architects for Creator, when at the National Youth Commission. Interestingly, when you check all the effects, the minister, the FET commissioner, the FET minister, every now and then, this is there. The president knows this. The president of this country knows that.
But not to this government, that don't start. It don't start.
That's the issue. So we need for address. Exactly. We need for addresser. We cannot continue like this, because these people are given responsibility for make sure that they address youth issues. We're not for lead to this. Every day I excuse. So it's a huge problem. The issues of injustice and the rule of law, we need for look at. This issue of region and party, we need to address things holistically. And we continue for say, government, listen, we don't get this region, that region of people in this country. We get Sierra Leoneans all over the place. And the people already refer to as terrorists from North or terrorists from this point or that point. They have family members across the country. So everybody is involved. So in terms of toning down the rhetorics, it will start from the top. Because people listen to them. Just like people listen to we now. People are listening to them. And the bad part, if we don't person not talk, nonsense they want and then they talk. So all man for carry the same message. We need for unite this country. We need for think straight, especially the young people there. There's a lot we need for those study. I just want to rest here for now.
Right, Emilia, you know, now you are being for put that question too, and I still go put it to you. What do you think? Say why the mistrust, the dipping by the second between the police as an institution and the public?
One thing I know for sure now the fact say too much of familiarity get a role for play in even the aspect of respect and other things. I still remember vividly about UPK 9K Sabi quote where one side where Jesus say a prophet is not expected in your own hometown. And so for me, they say the police on a daily basis, they interact, they come close to the people. In fact, now they're there with the people. Then whilst the military them, you hardly see them come around. So people get that kind fearness when it comes to soldier and that kind of stuff. You know, you hardly for them you see a situation who say soldier man all gone, civilians not before. In fact, it can sound so strange. Normal time the way military officers and they come out maybe for go parade and do some things the way they with their weapon them and they pass natural. Even in normal times, you know, you go see the kind of situation where they happen. So for me, the thing where I try for saying the fact that the police are so much they're familiar with the people then because now they will deal with everyday life that a lot of people feel say no, I'm not even fear them. I'm not even afraid the police. So I can face the police, I can attack the police, I can lead you. So for me, I'm not that much surprised why I see the video who say the soldier that they move and then you know at that point the civilian them they come and then the soldier that they talk to them. One will say if somebody tell me say God forbid that not to be soldier man and fire. I mean not to soldier man and kill. Well, whether na stick they use, whether na this they use, this probably the story for the change than waiting with the see now where they kill police. And again, of course, like we they say you look at the kind of training, you know, where the soldier then gets and the police then gets, and then kind of stuff then they. So for me, I say the issue of trust where each and every other person don't talk because we deal with the police there every now and then, people they interact with them, and you don't reach a point where some people say, me I don't even trust the police. I don't even believe them. In fact, they support the government. In fact, let's say the government want for make them do, now in they do. And let we not forget say we get incidences where don't happen where civilian they don't suffer in the hands of police or whatever don't happen where maybe people go say now no well this year will not go see they will not go take care. It could be you know some of them issues then they where don't lead to waiting we see so. But for me, like I say, when people they post ask say who win in all of this, nobody no win because even when people go out for celebrate that they kill police officers them because a police officers them we they forget say them police officers and they also get picking them when a civilian, then get wife they when a civilian, then get brothers and sisters them. Some of those police officers could be our uncle. Some of you when I so I'm a civil society person, but trust me, I get a lot of uncles where na police officers, where na military officers. So in the wildest dream, any one police officer where they kill, now like somebody kill me uncle. Anyone civilian where somebody kill, now like somebody kill me uncle. Or me self because I'm a civilian and that kind of stuff there. So for we waiting with the try for say now for we see a situation who say protest them go they happen at this country nobody die. The way forward Stanley, where you will be the talk just now. When all of the speakers they don't mention the aspect of where you they talk this, then go see you that, where you talk that, then go see me. I'm not worried about it anymore. Trust me, I'm not worried about that. Because when I sit down at church today, even the gospel where they preach, Jeremiah and the one person will be so outspoken, and because of the true way they talk, we know what happened to Ryan and where they end up for God digger. So, and one thing where Father said today in our introduction, what will happen that time there of Jesus it's not different from what they happen now. When you talk, you own everybody. In fact, everyone then at this program are carefully they follow the online waiting self. And you get people where they say, but then they already in that studio, they are APC waiting self. So for me, I repeat, I'm not bothered about that because I also listen and read the Deputy Minister of Information in audio, and I see the feedback after that audio. So it brings me to the thinking that the country where we did, no matter how objective you feel say you did, you get other people where feel say the deputy minister not for don't talk. So they say if you don't get something for talk, shut up. But when I watch the man in audio, I ask myself, what's wrong in waiting that man saying at that audio.
Yeah.
So for me again, just like I don't make mention I have with constitution, depending on which side where you look at with constitution, people get different way for interpreting. Now the uniqueness standing about we country. We constitution all get one interpretation depending on whose side you dey or the angle where you come on. So if we get a situation whose side the deputy minister, make that kind of thing there for call down the situation where probably now that's many people go to look forward to, and they get some of them kind bash and then some of them kind of thing and then people
Some
start
people
for
even call
yes,
for sacking.
yes, some people they even call say them for sack the deputy minister because of that kind of talk where talk, meaning he not talking at the kind where he want for me. And I also absolutely agree, Stanley. We not get the issue of tribalism in this country. Now politics will they use for play all the games they will they play. Most of we sit down now intermarriages that we do, So it's not about mene, it's not about team, it's not about limba, it's not about any other thing. It's about politics playing around. All of them things they are where we they say. But lastly, Stanley, I want to say we need for pray. This country, it's not about hypocrisy. We really need for pray. And the way forward, it's about proactiveness. Like what we they say, the thing where I say people they not talk. When people they talk about this faceless issue, right there, most of the illnesses they are what they see for don't come on in a very strong term and condemn whether the faceless, the faceless, whatever make or whatever it is, and see how we move forward. And of course, for me, I still they say the problem where we get with the issue of opposition, all of them things they happen. The reason we make a lot of people go blame that if we not get opposition also we go come and criticize some of them things that way they happen. It's a very serious concern for people there. And so for me, and especially in the situation whose side the opposition is being blamed also. So you ask yourself, well, waiting at well, Salon is a beautiful country and things that they happen, you go around and you give for ask yourself questions that were difficult for you, really able for answer. But me by large Stanley, I just want to say this situation is not a healthy one for this country where we call Mama Salon. The image where it is sent out there, like you pick they say people they call them from side away get colleagues party them out of this country, they ask everybody want to know what thing they go on with you. In fact, even coming to the radio this month, people they are you going there, are you going to the so this is the kind of situation we find ourselves. But again we begin to ask ourselves, must we keep quiet and allow the thing for happen? Must we keep quiet and say we are not going to say it when everybody they suffer? Because Stanley, like I say, if na policeman they kill, some of we one way or the other will be related with them. If na civilian they kill, we are related one way or the other. So all of those people them where they kill, where they die. So for me, no Sierra Leonean no supposed for die in that kind of situation and then we feel say these are normal situation. So for me, I want to say those institutions where charged with the responsibility with the call for independent investigation. For me, it's not just about investigation. A lot of things that don't happen. We take the investigation report, they will not get them.
Yeah.
We not see them. Things that don't happen, plenty things that don't happen. We not see them report them. We not see people then bring them down at the book and say we don't dismiss this person because of this incident and we hold this person responsible. And it's possible, Stanley, that now that's make all of them things here they continue for the happen. Enough is enough. Let we now begin see a situation like Sludge they say. Let me look into all the incidences that will not happen at this country and give a very strong warning and come with those people who are responsible into book and book. Whether not the security forces, whether not the civilians them, from whichever angle, those will be at the greatest responsibility. Let them come and answer to questions them. And for me, Salon, now just an example. Now for let them see example from there. But if we get situation that we don't happen like 2 years ago and 30-day investigation they go on, we're not able to forget a proof, we're not able to forget a tangible report. For me, this is very serious and I think they lead we to the thing the way we go through so today. And it's sad for we as a country. 1 week like that, let me say nothing not they go on. A lot of businesses or UPK, a lot of businesses they go down and then tax the world for pay to government. We not they pay to government. And what the government say for do, you not go able for do one because if you not get the tax the way then go pay to them, then self not go able for do it that they do. And you get some people where they suffer standing. If they not sell today, they know they eat today. So all of those people for 3 days sit down at the hostel, they're not able for eat, they're not able for take care of their families. Them it's sad. And those people whether faceless or face business where they make, then they eat and then they live life and then picking them all they eat, they live a decent life. So man, before that problem, you don't already prepare for the week, waiting go there now. Who's kind different meal there? You want for it, while the innocent one and they out there not even know if after them commodity then they get something for it or waiting for drink.
All right, guys. So, Dami, how would they heal from their scars there, their wounds there, we, not seemingly they stop for bleed? How would they heal, given within their time now?
The monster na poverty and hopelessness. And the monster. It's the truth. Now, me go end up for say the elite. You hardly see them in the market. I mean, a market are the one mammy day way bag pepper, 7 bag pepper, or pepper. I encourage the old woman because police come now that we joint a market, encourage and make it sell. I look the mommy not to say if you want for obey, not to sell. But then blackmail them. Somebody then a market you look and be going to sell no more. We don't see your face.
And the police sell.
Exactly, sell no more, we don't see your face. And that person was captured on video. Let's tell people in back so too interested to people this thing. The security personnel them will get video of how they die. Not also gentlemen and lady. But the civilian them, and me I not see video it how they die. I see body. I'm not this. I want to let people understand something out of this. And even the destruction of property, them looting and stuff, and the videos then they where they show people and they go pull motorbike, how do they touch this vehicle? Okay, that's side one. The other one, the opposition and alternative voice in a democracy. In the UK, for example, every ministry then get a shadow minister. If the Minister of Internal Affairs say this, the shadow minister, on the opposition, they suggest what he feels say for don't be the appropriate action for take. The police now party. We too common with the police. We so common with the police to an extent. And if you do a survey, the whole world now one of the most unpopular institutions, the police. But once are they in need, I return to them. That is a fact. So for verified and generally, let we look at the other side of them. The army then get their own rules of engagement. So therefore, when they come, they get their own approach to things. Because let we also watch say, I not think say the victim and the security sector they say a soldier involved inside it. Civil society. We not a democracy. We are a benevolent dictatorship. And we get with limitations. I want to let all men know. We, civil society, we will not be at duty. We are right holders. We now, when I watch video, Gigi Snow, we Mami Django they talk. One comedian in France, a Nigerian comedian. He said right now in Paris, he said the French government they can make millions and millions of United States dollars through tourism. He said what they do? He said the hotel will check in, you know, get fence. He said the window there, they not get rod. Say not just glass. He said but pim not happen there. He said because the poverty where in Nigeria, not in Nigeria. He said nobody not get any reason for can broke into me door for go take me wallet. He said so. Now make I say the monster in all of this are poverty and hopelessness. So me moving forward, every administrator, it be opposition now, you didn't have government to, you get a responsibility for respond to the needs of the people, which is key. And in the event, and I tell everybody, even the one who go on the street, some people in a particular family, I will bet my life say nobody no go come on another family, they go on the street. Because of waiting them not able to achieve over the years of their life. Because predictability then in their life say, for the next 1 month, today if I want to eat this, I will eat them. Tomorrow if I want to eat it, I will eat them. So whether there is this or there is that, me survival is guaranteed. So now that make I say the monster and hopelessness and poverty, we get for address them. Right. We no need for gloss over them. Everybody get for taking responsibility, say, this is what I have to contribute, and finally, we no longer sit and say, this did not touch me yet. That indifference in society. Me, I know what I go through, the 3 days will happen. I know what I go through. Some families, we get for share waiting day. Because they not go na tongue for go survive. Because like what my go say, you go today, you make 3 million or 4 million, you cook. If you not go, you know the time on another day. But you back when sit on there, we don't budget for a whole week for sit on, I will say for me back. If you say you go eat, then people will not eat. It's not possible. Pass if you say one become a pariah. So generally, law address poverty.
Alright. UPK. What do you think saying at the way forward? Because two guests then will can wrap up this edition of the program. But then as your last take this edition, what thing you would suggest as the way forward in all of this?
Number one, the police first stop the heavy-handedness. And then we all campaign so that they will make the right to protest, the fundamental freedom where everybody get right for protesting at this point.
Responsibly.
On the question of responsible, when you see the first videos of the protest, it was peaceful. Okay? And on the question of responsible, when the police guarantee them fundamental freedom, people protest, right? Then they secure them. I think say people behave responsibly. Definitely. But one, let we make them a mandatory that people get right for protest. Number two, let we appeal to the young people. The vast majority of young people not get work for do. I remember the work where SFPP can get them now for one motor car. APC thing for clean gutter. You know? So then you say, and 80% of people now young people, then they're under 40. And young people, when they go clean gutter, I don't teach more than 4-5 years ago. They don't get job, they don't get work, right? And let me try for unify the country. And with politicians, Mr. President, that day on you. For when I hear the president, they talk say, well, now the you sign no more than protest. Now free talk sign me day, go and you know the help in the further stigmatize and differentiate this country. Right? And the past let's me what me think say the police they look hated because after the killings now Makeni Stafulai, then Stafulai under this government. Freetown, Tom Koliba. You know, if me have been the IG or very close to President Bio, I have been deliberate, let the kill one fall, right? Now Makeni and Freetown, because that they further anger the people, right? The vast majority of people angry. The country and let me fight against tribalism. Let me try to be more inclusive, right? Not to look with too hypocritical. People they tell you say, we know get tribalism in this country. It exists. It exists. Hello, you think? Look at no. Listen, you get the opportunity. This is the thinking. Allow me like a think, right? Yeah, sure. You say you're not there. Now this organizing people, you hold on. You understand? Then look, people they suffer in this country. The president they argue say, well, not to if not being hardship, all side for protest. Like I tell you, see, they get what they call the proximity theory. That is this then the producer na Freetown. If you the Freetown, they buy cheaper. Now, let's say take a bag of cement. People at Freetown, they buy one bag of cement, 120,000. If you take that cement, Kerangona bond, right? It will cost you 150. For pull up from bond, for Kerangona the main line, will cost you 160. So, I mean, then they suffer more. Let we not be hypocrites, right? Then the president's speech, in last line, I don't look like her, right? Like I quote her directly, like I see the one way talk. You see? Fellow citizens, let me close by expressing deep condolences to bereaved families. We will fully investigate all death as a result of this violent insurrection. As a government, we will honor the police officers who were murdered with a civic funeral in respect of their service to this nation. Their death shall not be in vain and will bring their killers. You know how many get up?
Yeah.
That you only investigate the police.
The death.
Right? The
Yes.
death. The other one they will die now fall them.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that English show me that school
No,
only
you're
go.
correct.
Read this, I want anybody.
Very
You see, and me, then I'd want for Dove me heart. In fact, I did team up for show me respect to Jamiru, that's what you call him.
Yeah,
Solomon Jamiru. If we get them, and I begin to ask, do we really have the kind of decent people in Madam system for tell them in face? And then for Mr. President, you know they do correct thing. I wish President for be listen to Solomon Jamiru. If for being borrow a leaf, that statement when Jamiru make, I wish it was coming from the president. Right? I don't me have to run. Then finally.
Why not in Apple?
No, I think as a mark of respect for Solomon Jamiru.
Time not to party with
Then
President.
I listen to one piece where Julius Spencer, I read them, where Julius Spencer did share. You see, where he served Tijan Kaba. Me, I always don't respect Tijan Kaba. I respect Tijan Kaba more.
Sure.
I don't know if Nadakai independent mind, Madam you get. I remember I read one magazine where they say he's in control, he's leading but not in charge. I wish he was in charge. Remember I can tell you about the group think theory. I mean, anybody go read that group think. Now the professor called me and tell me that the group think. He say, now so SNPP they behave. Even when the system no say it's faulty, some people because of the, you know, I can't tell you again a lot of examples. And the Atlanta shuttle and other, the Bay of Pigs, they knew they were going to die. But nobody not get the bold man for say no, stop it because it's about the group. The group solidarity, you don't want to be inclusive. It will help to self-destruct. Look, Salon, not to APC, SLPP get up. But now, APC, now the only, like I said this, Salon, now the only country where APC, SLPP will bring independence, now that political party, they now. All other countries, now West Africa, they don't overthrow. If APC, SLPP not take time, the people of Sierra Leone will wake up one morning and sack all of those political parties and take over the young country.
All right. Nasala, with the sign out or with the wrap up this edition, now we assume they talk to the political divide of this country. Which you message go look like to them to parties and they call out the SLPP and the APC, considering uniting this country, considering the escalating the current situation, and give hope to the people despite the difficult times.
Okay, so you're looking at small minutes that was just one or two sides who we were guys and so forth. Who were important before they are big.
Go on.
Okay. My colleague na MRU talk about young people. I think going forward, then I want to know who will not neglect as a country. I know we don't do so many things. This government and the previous government don't do so many things to address the situation of young people. But we still get very high unemployment among young people, and most of them are uneducated. They don't learn skills. They don't get any middle-level manpower skills. They don't get any education. And then people then they multiply by the day. They plenty, they multiply by the period. Then every community, me every worker, when I go eastern, when I'm in area, they're always in the junction there. And they give you where they come, where they go, and where they come. They give you, and also they have your money. They always say, they don't get nothing for you. I do handset, I do mindset. Anybody who gets a certain people use the money, they small, they mobilize them and use them. And government for address that situation, or make sure say how the policy that would make on youth business in the country, we will address them equally. Everyone is everything correctly. They're only exposed to drugs, drug abuse, and violence, and thief, and robbery. The government record on that, and the region they look up to we as a beacon of democracy, and so we not for allow them to stay. We keep continue, and make sure they will decide the people that will lead me on the ballot box through election. And the election overall, with democracy, not only just be about election. During the process to the election, and nine people within the government collect respect. their rights and the with the government they claim to respect. They need to guarantee them free expression, dissent, protest, assembly, demonstration, and meetings. Then they come that are part of the democracy, who the whole government to account. It doesn't matter if now 1 million people come out, any amount of people, 2 people come out and demonstrate. That's right for good and demonstrate. Police, because they recently for health, they make them do that. So they expect them view. On the issue, they wouldn't feel they are affected. Because too many people already, the doctors there, the teachers there, the market woman there, the ordinary woman there, they all get interest. The woman they would invest for the candidate, for the vote in the parliament, the Jewish policy, they all get the interest. Those are all forms of expression and for the way they affect people in various groups. So don't let people guarantee people be when they get a channel to do that one day and police today and respond respectfully and to the concerns and so they say you get genuine concern for arrested. So that's what I think. The way you listen to the president he addressed, in fact the guy in there already happened. The president gave a wonderful interview to BBC. The BBC, apart from the time we mentioned about APC and terrorist business, the interview was wonderful. And I've been missing 9 please come back paying address with the card destination. But unfortunately, not do that. If you listen to the address, now one of anger and emotion overcharged. We do, man, who do I talk to for that address? And English is talker. You don't talk to me, not the people in the country. People say, okay, English is our official language. Yes, now official language. But we get over 65 to 70% illiterate in the country. Who do they understand English? That's like people, not the people, not the people, other people. Who decisions the way you take the effect. Talk to them in the language when they understand. Let them know, let them know how you feel, let them know what you think about certain things. So they get to empathize with you and resonate with your feelings as a leader. They will understand you more. And so now, the issue of governance now is the responsibility of the government who they elect and the opposition who get peace and stability and national cohesion alone. Not just the government. So there are two sets of responsibility. And that's come before. The government has the responsibility for carry everyone go for make us say, as a government, they are not representing a party. They are representing the whole of Sierra Leone. Even with democracy, even though democracy will practice, they are democracy of minority, because if you look at the people who they vote, if you look at if you out of 7 million, other than 1.5 or 3 million than the register and than the campus. And they decide for the rest of the population. So the minority people want it. So when you get the majority government, you see? And so once you are elected for being president and for lead and form a government, you are a government of Sierra Leone, not a government for any party. So once the government knows that, all in action and all in thinking, all in decision will reflect that one. And the position for help them, for help the government for able to achieve that, not for undermine the government. And the position in rule, they need to understand that. Not for just criticize, not for just go say, only see, say, the government are for power, for command power. No, not to rule nowadays. You know, like for help make the government make right decisions there. By give alternatives. Who government say this, that is our do, and that's our do, that's our spend. You say no. We say if you do have to, if you do this one, you do have to, and you spend to, it will be better for the country. The government you look at, you say, okay, now they get some small sense, not victim of their own, one to their own, and do it. That's so we hope, with democracy for hope. Not just as opposition number we will 44, and for just undermine the government, and for make sure the government not get any way for rule, and the government is ungovernable. No, that's not the approach. Support the government initiative, criticize the government constructively. Every bill when they go to parliament, the position forgets the position now. They forget the position now. They get the position of parliament. They work with the parliament, they get the position, they make the public understand that position. Not a lot of hate, not a lot of malice, not a lot of state because they know our position, but the leaders of the country. So once you put that clearly, what do they understand now? Don't election car, now the public they want. No, we didn't put it out, they do position, but the idea is the money get, and the way they are moving the country, I think say, okay, so long vote for them. That's all, that's the one for see. No see dialogue, no see more of dialogue. Let them talk and argue and disagree and put perspective together and then we should say we move this country forward. Some of you advice what they give to the government people there. And we the media also know we set situation but make sure say we're very impartial and we stay independent and we make sure that the citizen who will say that the essential service delivery issues there, who government will do. Now we focus on as media, and we will bring out the table, or put the government on the tools to address the issue in it. Because no government address the issue in it, now it helps the people them, other people them, when they get access to them, and they don't get time for the government, they don't get time for democracy, they don't get time for the protest, or for the talk of social media. So once we do that, then we don't help with democracy. But in our time now, we only for talk, no matter whether they brand you, whether they label you, either you country, and when you go to war, the one that they pick whether SSD or APC or NGT or REF, they kill everybody they affected directly or indirectly. Even though they do vaccine, they're only affected. So we only focus on that and make us say whatever we do in the interest of the nation. Thank you very much.
So, thank you so very much, Mr. President Monk, for the time you don't spend with me. Thanks so very much. All right. So,
you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, Ambassador Biko, with the wrap up, and again, I want to give you the same opportunity I give President Monk for talk to the because the overarching issue we emerge from all of this discourse are the fact say that politics don't the overriding factor for the current predicament. So the people already provide leadership for from independent to date two political parties, the APC and the SLP. Now I assume say they talk to them, for get a permanent fix to then kind of insurrections that we witnessed, a couple of days ago.
All right, Stanley. For wrap up, I just want to say I support everything we Monk just said. Everything very succinct, and I want to deliver on them points in there again. Two things like I mentioned what we need for do. We need for be truthful. We need for be honest with ourselves. Yeah, we all know who side this come out. It not just come out from the blues and happen. It don't tell where they come. All right. So when we pull out a statement, we say the result of this to they look like say we don't really make use of the channels then where we get such as dialogue and engagement. And the same thing Adolf may have also to Solomon Jamil. Of course they go through a lot of bashing right now. I understand. That's how politics play in governance in this country. And so we need for the dialogue. And part of what we say also in our statement, we say they call on all the young people in the country for deviate and try for avoid violence. We can understand what's happening. We also they call on the leaders of Sierra Leone and the political institutions in the country for make sure say they put on that things that will go lead to the empowerment and development of the youth in this country. Because at that one the way people busy, you go find out so we'll get less of the issues there. But a lot of people not gonna work for them, especially the young people. And we also they call on an independent investigation of all what happened. All right, we don't want for left and just to the government. No, we want an independent investigation, and we also want that people were responsible for be held accountable, whether be you from government, opposition, the civil society, wherever you are, as long as you're responsible and you're part of this, everybody for be held responsible. Because we know how to see a situation where every day they investigate, but we know the see outcome. So that's also not a serious concern. That's not a very serious concern. Another thing we need to do, there is a strain between the relationship where they exist between the police and the community people. We need a lot of work around that. We don't do a lot of police-community dialogue, but even in their engagements, you can see the expression from people, the disappointment when they get, when they interact with police, the experiences, they're not correct. So we need a lot of work on that. And also, we want for caution. We've seen videos before, the utterances where some military people do during the course of this process, where they give allegiance as a military officer, giving allegiance to a political party or particular president. That is not the military. Some action needs to be taken. Because I for glad if I see a military officer like the others then do, for publicly say we are here to protect the constitution of this country, and we go stand and protect the constitution of this country, which is supreme. That's the role. But not all for you as a military personnel for go publicly and utter such, which is indiscipline, and I feel say them particular set of people must also be brought to be disciplined. Finally, Stanley, it is sad that we don't get pronouncements, and all fingers from especially government, they point at the opposition and ignoring the fact that there has not been proper investigations of this. So we don't begin to prejudice also the process already, and we don't see reports and we don't get beaucoup complaint of people them when they go host to host, they go pull people in and they host don't care, some man go jail for nothing, without just because they belong to the opposition party. That is also not healthy. These are emotional reactions. It is not correct. Now say what you may, it is not correct, because if now you been in that position there, you don't go want that as well. So let's follow the rule of law. Let's follow due processes. Let people not begin because you didn't get grudge with your company and your neighbor. So we don't go back to that situation where somebody will show you, will deal with you. Then they point people, they go and arrest people. That should stop immediately. And let's follow due process.
All right.
Finally, let peace prevail.
All right, thank you so very much. Be cool. The State Department Community Solutions and Speaker, and of course a member of the MIU Youth Parliament, and so want to extend we gratitude to Ahmed Said Nasrallah, the President for SLAD. And of course today we bring get Unisa Party Kama UPK, Ibrahim Darami, Cantona Emilia Kama Jengo. And me will be ready for the program, me na Stanley Bangora Jr. In case you miss some part, don't forget to tune in tonight at 8 to 10, 5 to 7 tomorrow morning, and we meet edition will return on Wednesday from 10 p.m. to midnight. Well, so till we come back next week with a fresh edition, I want to say, no worry, just be happy and be safe, stay away from violence, and just be happy. Till then, bye-bye. Have a pleasant Sunday.